Hi, everybody. I'm so glad that you've decided to return and spend a little time with me. So, we're going to get right into it. You know, my buddy Donkey. We're going to give him a good old shake and hope that he gives us something of importance or substance. I think, you know, let's see here. I'm going to go deep. Sorry. Ooh. Oh, this should be interesting. All right, thank you, sir. And I appreciate the topic. This will definitely allow you to get to know a little bit more about me. What jobs have I had? All right, let's just get into it. And I mean, I've had many. Please understand, I'm currently 63 years of age. Through many years of my life, I worked 2 or 3 jobs, different types, but I'm going to try to, in this menopausal brain of mine, pull out my job history, or at least the different types of jobs that I've had. So, to begin with, I come from a family of barbers and hairstylists. It's third generation from grandfather, parents, and down to myself. So, by the age of 16, I had already achieved my barber's slash hairdressing license, because at that time you had to have both. It wasn't a combined hairstyling license. And my family, my parents owned a barber hairdressing salon shop. So I worked with them for many, many years. I stopped doing hair when my father passed away. I just didn't have the gusto for it, and it's really not a fantastic job. It's a lot of long hours on your feet. It's holidays, it's griping people, and so on. Now, as well, what I've done over the years is waitress and bartend. I've done it in little cafeteria type or little small, breakfast where it's breakfast and coffee and things like that. I've worked in bowling alleys as a waitress and bartender, and I've worked in many strip bars as a waitress bartender. So a lot of the gentlemen's clubs, we'll call them. Yes, I worked for many years. As a bartender and waitress in those establishments. I've also managed bars. I ran a gay bar for quite a while. Did bartending as well while there, but was the manager of a wonderful establishment. Really thoroughly enjoyed that. I worked as a waitress and bartender on strip ships and restaurant cruise ships here on the river. I guess I should get a little juicier. I also, while working at the gay bar or the managing that bar, I also ran a kink fest that happened once a month. And I'm going to tell you that was very educating, very informative, very unique to be able to be allowed within that circle. And wow, the things I have seen. And I mean, wow. So 90% of the fetishes, I don't understand them. But again, it's not for me to understand. I mean, we all have our own thing, our own turn-ons, our own whatever it is that we enjoy in our life. So I absolutely have no judgment. Some of the things I felt were like, wow, like to be able to watch somebody be put onto basically in the cross position next to naked, and be flogged, whipped, and I mean just for quite a period of time, and obviously, with consent. This is what they wanted, until the point, I mean, you could see the welts and the bleeding um, on their backs or buttocks or wherever this lashing was taking place, until she got to her where she wanted to be, and let out this screeching squeal, and then urinated. It was and I mean, she was weak. Like, when they took her down, she was basically limp. So when I was able to speak to her after, and I just, curiosity, asked her out of respect, why would you put yourself into that situation? Why do you feel, that is pleasurable for you? Just, I I can understand a little slap here and there, a little choking, things like that. I mean, I get that. But to that extent, I was, wow. And she explained to me that it is what she requires, basically. I don't want to get too into depth, but that once she gets to that spot, that the only way she can describe it is euphoric. So the pain in her mind and in her world becomes euphoric. That's the reason she releases and just gives it all in, and is basically drained when it's over. So, to each their own. I can't say I've ever achieved euphoria, but I don't know that would be the way I'd be going about it. I also saw, maybe I shouldn't be telling this story, but I also saw in this festival where they had a special artist who came in. And she was, my goodness, over 6 feet tall and very vampirish. The fangs, the look, the everything. Long story short, her act, or her thing, her turn on, her niche, they literally, they crazy glued her talk, or her private area. They did a quick stitch to ensure that it was sealed. And then, with a very long, sharp blade, someone released it all. Now, I didn't ask her anything. I think I was in total shock. But again, no judgment. It's not my life. Okay, moving on to my job. Sorry, I drifted there for a minute, but some of the memories flash back, and I just had to share it with you. And I do believe, because I've worked in so many different types of areas, and around so many different types of people, that I'm blessed, because it gave me opportunities that most people don't have. It also allowed me to accept people, period. A good heart is a good heart. How you earn your money, things like that, is not for me to judge. So yes, it's been a blessing to me, because I think it helped make the person I am today. Okay, moving on. and I did mention this in one of the podcasts, I worked with an escort agency. We set up dates with adults. So I did that for quite a while, where we had patrons that would call in, give a description of the type of woman they would like to date, and we would send a date to them. Now, it was not prostitution, because at that time, prostitution and escort was not legal. We were a dating service. That's what we are. I just happened to set up the dates and ensure that everybody got where they were going. It was, I'm just going to sum it up to, they paid by the time of how long they wanted this date to be. They, as two consenting adults, whatever they decided to do was not my business. So I did that as well. And I do hope, my children are not watching, but it is what it is. I'm not ashamed. It put food on the table and money in the house. So I also did phone sex for quite a while. It was very convenient because I was able to be home 99% of the time. I was working out on the treadmill, whatever, on my exercise bike. So it only aided to the illusion at that time. And it was very not connected to me in any way. It went through a service, and, they picked who they wanted to speak to, and then it was directed to you. And at that time, my name was Rachel. So it was very interesting as well. Realistically, you spoke to a lot of very lonely people or severe freaks that, felt they couldn't be honest with who they were. So again, it just introduced me to, another world, but blessed to have the experience. I also worked in a rehab, so to speak. I worked with on weekends, so I was there the whole weekend. I worked with adolescents from 18 and under that were in homes that stayed there. They were either, sexual abuse or mental health issues, abandonment, etc., schizophrenia, self-mutilation, things like that. So yes, I worked weekends with these children, these adolescents, stayed there within the cabins, their homes with them, aided them to learn life skills and, of course, monitor behaviors. What else have I done? There's been so many different areas in life. Sales. I used to work for TELUS, doing the cold calls, and also became manager for that and the home lines and internet as well. I used to sell for a company in the States and worked out of Florida for a little bit, and actually was about to move to Florida, but things just didn't pan out. The company ended up selling. I worked in a call center, and we sold Craftmatic adjustable beds. So that was an amazing job. You're again cold calling people and luring them into, the concept of winning a bed, and eventually I became executive sales. So we were the closing of all of the sales. The salesman would call into us, etc., etc. It is a type of job that you have to be able to, there can't be feelings and emotions. You have quotas, you have things that you need to do, and you can't be overly soft-hearted and sympathetic. You need to, it's known as the ABCs, you need to always be closing. So a lot of my jobs, and now for the last 20 years, I have been a general manager for an apartment complex, small company that has other apartments, houses, businesses that I oversee, as well as an on-site manager. So it's very hands-on, dealing with people every day. So it's kind of a split thing. You know, I've had very bizarre and I don't even want to use the word bizarre, but not normal everyday jobs. And I've had some, you know, very stressful and just life has been good. That's what I'm going to say, because I have not been just put into one little box. Whatever I did, whatever job I had, I always strive to climb to the top. I was never just happy sitting there doing the job I applied for. And I think I apply that to everything in my life. It allowed me to meet people from circles, so many different circles of life. And I'm just blessed for every moment that I've gone through, whether it's been good, bad, indifferent, stressful, fantastic. I'm just grateful for life. So there is a little inside of what I've done for my jobs. Have you had any fantastic jobs, different jobs, unique jobs you'd like to share? I'd love to hear from you. I'd like to thank all of you once again for giving me a little bit of your time and allowing Donkey and I into your homes. We really do appreciate you. And I'd like to thank you once again for letting me talk out and we'll see you on the next podcast. Take it easy, everybody. Stay blessed.